Um, there isn't a reason for you to watch this, but I'm kind of bored, and I want to talk about stuff. So this is probably just going to be a video for me in the future. Um, it's going to be my top 10 favorite albums. Okay. Now, to establish something, the first one I'm going to show you is going to be my least favorite of the top 10, and the last one I'm going to show you is my favorite of the top 10. And everything in between is sort of neither here nor there, okay? But again, these are all my top 10, so I love these very much, okay? So, the first one I'm going to show you is Red by King Crimson, alright? Released in 1974, it is considered by many to be their greatest. I wouldn't say so. It's their third best, I'd say. And the main reason people talk about it so much is because the first side is great and Starless is great, and I guess that's good enough justification for anyone to consider this to be their best album. I don't get me wrong, it's great, but I feel like Providence, which is on side 2, it's 8 minutes, it's an improv, it's not their best. And on Fallen Angel, there's like this it's the most annoying guitar, to be honest. It's very high pitched and it's like screeching. It's just not very good, okay? And Starless isn't even their best ever because I feel like the midsection with the tension building up is it's not the greatest, right? That being said, it's still an amazing record. I would highly, consider checking it out. Now, the next one I'm going to show you is something I'm not going to show you because this is the only one on the list that I don't have physically yet. That is Jethro Tull's Thick as a Brick, okay? So, I was initially a bit intimidated by this because it's 40 minutes long, but it's only 2 songs. Really, it's only 1 song, but due to the physical limitations of being on a vinyl record, they had to cut it into parts 1 and 2. Each one is 20 minutes long. And, at first I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous. It's way too long. But you know what? Growing up, I was really only exposed to classical music. And it's quite obvious that Thick as a Brick is very classically inspired. So I guess that's a reason why I like it a lot, and the reason why even at 40 minutes long, it doesn't feel too long. It feels like a suite. It feels like a classical suite, okay? I will say, though, that at the start of part 2, I would say the first 7 minutes of part 2 are kind of not very good. But when it kicks into the part of the segment called Tales of Your Life, toward the end, it starts being really good again. And of course, part 1 is iconic. It's great. Okay. Up next, we've got Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys. Okay, so far pretty basic, okay. Pet Sounds is great. It's one of those records where it's just like, there's not a single bad song on it. And some people argue Sloop John B is that bad song. I don't think that's the case. I'm gonna be real. This one was a grower for me, and it probably still is going to grow on me. I probably haven't yet fully comprehended its majesty. But when I first heard it, I'm like, okay, this is kind of boring. But you know what? If you're looking for an upbeat, really wow banger after banger, you're not gonna find it here. You're gonna find lush, warm instrumentals here with lovely lyrics, okay? And I'm not too much of a lyrics guy, to be honest. That's why I actually enjoy a lot of instrumental music. But this is not that. This is the opposite of that. Even though there are 2 instrumentals on here, which are really good instrumentals, actually. So I'm just contradicting myself left and right. I'm gonna stop talking now. Okay. So, next up is Animals. I think I listened to this every single day during February. Last February, I would listen to this every single day. This is the 2018 remaster, which has very, very punchy bass, but I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not rocking with this album cover. I think the original album cover is way better than this one. But that's not important. It's not about this cover. It's about the music, okay? It's good. I don't know what else to say. I mean, if you only got 5 songs on an album, they better be good songs. And basically 3, because the first and the last one are just a minute long each. Now, I'm gonna be real with you. Dogs is the best song on the album, and that's not a hot take. But the thing is, I don't really like Pigs that much. The Pigs 3 different ones, I don't think it's very good. And the reason for that being is that Dogs is 17 minutes long. And even though it's 17 minutes long, it doesn't feel like it. That's because it has multiple movements, okay? Which are usually 3-minute long guitar solos, okay? But at least it has movements, it's going somewhere. Sheep is 11 minutes, I think. Yeah. And again, it has movements, okay? You got your instrumental intro, okay? You got your main, verse or whatever. Then you have the little interlude with the Bible passage. You're gonna go back into the verse, and then you have the 2-minute, I think, coda, where the cars are going. All right, Pigs stay stagnant for the whole 10 minutes, and if you're 10 minutes long, you can't be stagnant. Okay, that's a problem with songs like Kashmir by Led Zeppelin. Okay, that's 8 minutes long, but you're doing the same thing over and over for 8 minutes. It's a good song, but for 8 minutes, are you serious? All right. Okay, next up we've got Magical Mystery Tour. Now, this is gonna blow your heads up, probably, because what? Magical Mystery Tour? Why? It's so terrible. It's awful. I don't know how you can say that, considering this song has I Am the Walrus, this album has I Am the Walrus, Penny Lane, and Strawberry Fields Forever. I don't know how you could say it's bad. And I know some contrarians are going to be in the comment section, like, actually, it was released as a double EP, and those singles are just tacked onto it, blah, 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 blah. Shut up. This is canonically how it is now, because of the 2009, I think it was, when they were released on CD. This is how it was released. It's part of canon now, so you can shut up. And they have a point about the whole double EP being not that great. The first Magical Mystery Tour, Fool on the Hill, Flying, Blue Jay Whale, Your Mother Should Know, they're mid. I think the Fool on the Hill is probably the best of those. But you seriously, you got I Am the Walrus, Hello Goodbye, Strawberry Fields Forever, Penny Lane. You got like 4 singles back to back, okay? And they're all heat, okay? Baby You're a Rich Man is not very good. And All You Need Is Love is just fine. It's fine. I would say, come on. You can't be arguing that's not good. Okay. All right. Next up, we got In the Court of the Crimson King. All right. Again, very basic pick if you're like into prog, which I am. This is like the prog album, but it's jerked off for a reason. Okay, it's a great album. Okay. That being said, it has one of the worst songs known to man, and that's Moonchild. Okay, you can fight me in the comments on this. Oh, Moonchild is actually really genius. You don't understand it. I guess I don't understand it. Fine. It is 12 minutes long, and you know how I said that being long is not the problem. Being stupid and stagnant is the problem. It's a 2-minute long intro, and then a 10-minute long instrumental, which it's improvised, okay? They don't know what they're doing, okay? And people are going to say, oh, but it's a palate cleanser going into In the Court of the Crimson King, okay? Are you serious right now? Right? Palate cleanser? My palate was fine when I came off the other side of the record. I just came off of Epitaph. That was fine. And what it does, it ruins my palate, okay? So, I don't know what they're talking about, okay? They're contrarians, okay? Maybe one day I'll realize the secret majesty of this underrated gem, but I haven't yet. So that's why this is the second best King Crimson record, okay? And I know I said it's not in any particular order, but I will say that there is a King Crimson album that's better than that and better than Red. And it's this. My copy's a bit beat up, but yeah. It's Discipline. Discipline is the best King Crimson record. You can't. You want to say Larks is the best? I wouldn't even fight you on that. Larks is pretty good. It's not in top 10, but my top 10. But if you said Larks is your favorite, I can't even argue with that. Larks is great. But this is better. That's because it's so fun. It's a fun record. But if I had to pick a problem with it, that would be Sheltering Sky. Like I said before, if your song is 8 minutes long, it's got to be moving, it's got to be dynamic. This is all zen and trippy for 8 minutes. If you made it 4, that'd be fine, but 8 is too long. Sorry for the jump cut, but someone came into my room. Back to Discipline. This thing is stacked. It's actually ridiculously stacked. Elephant Talk, Frame by Frame, Mate Kudasai, and Discipline on the first side. None of those are like below a 7 out of 10. Those are heat, okay? And Thamla Hunjinjit, right now is my favorite King Crimson song. That might change, but right now that's what it is. Okay, it is it's a banger. And again, it only dips when during Sheltering Sky. But then you got Discipline at the end, and it's such a great instrumental. You know how I talked about how I like instrumental music? Well, that's a good example of good instrumental music. And again, it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's 5 minutes long. It's in, it's out, and it's great. All right. All right. We got Gay Triangle here, all right? So Gay Triangle is I don't know what you want me to say about this. I think this thing is still on the charts like a billion years later. It's inhabited like millions of T-shirts, every poster alive. You know the track listing. It's what am I supposed to say about this that hasn't already been said? It starts on me. Okay. I have a confession to make. I don't think Money is that good. Money kind of ruins the vibe. All right. Now, Money by itself, Money as a single, which I think it was a single, that's fine. Money, in the context of the album, just kind of it ruins the flow, and it's kind of like the Sloop John B argument, where they're just like, oh, it ruins the flow of the album. This does, and I know it's like it's on the other side. It's on side 2. It starts side 2, so it's not really interrupting anything. But it's still, I don't like it. By itself, it's fine. But when you're listening to it, like all the way through, which you should be. I don't know what you're doing if you're only like, it's like, today I'm going to listen to Brain Damage by itself. What are you doing? You have brain damage. That's all I have to say about that, really. It's good stuff. Okay, I think that leaves us with our final two. And our final two, the first of the final two, is Revolver. I like Revolver. It's like, what? Okay, sorry about that. No, it's Revolver. Again, it's one of those things that, like, literally everyone has praised, and for good reason. How do I explain this? My favorite thing about Revolver is that you're in and out of every song before you even know it. It leaves you wanting more, and that's what a good album does. Okay, you don't want to be wanting less. You want to be wanting more. Okay, this thing is only like 35 minutes long, I think, and you're just in, you're out, you're in, you're out. Taxman is like 2 minutes long, and you're into Eleanor Rigby, 2 minutes long. Only Sleeping, 2.5 minutes long. Okay, you're done, and that's why I know they didn't pick the name Revolver to like mention to refer to a gun, but it makes me think of the chambers of a revolver just spinning around and around and around. Okay, this thing is stacked. Okay, it's not just consistent; it's stacked. Okay, you got Eleanor Rigby, you got I'm Only Sleeping, you got Tomorrow Never Knows. This will blow your head off. And especially blow your head off if you lived in 1966, okay? And Andrew Bird can sing, Taxman, it's all heat, okay? Now, the only times it's not heat is when it's Good Day Sunshine. Or Dr. Robert. And even then, those are just fine. Everything else is just, it's heat. I will even defend Yellow Submarine, alright? But now, we've come to the last one. And if you know me, you know this is my favorite of all time. And, you call it a basic test, or you call it a basic opinion, I call it a capture test, alright? That's Abbey Road. This is bonkers. It's not even fathomable how bonkers it is, okay? Come Together, Something, Oh Darling, Octopus's Garden, I Want You, She's So Heavy. I am a strong Octopus's Garden enjoyer, alright? And those 5 songs, that's just the first side. You flip it, you get Here Comes the Sun, Because, and then the Abbey Road medley, which probably is my favorite piece of music to date, alright? Everything about this, the bass on this sounds so clean. The guitar is crisp and clear. Revolver's guitars, they kind of sound like they're recorded with like an iPhone, okay? Like an iPhone 4, alright? It's part of the charm. But it's not like the guitar is like right next to your ear. It is so good, man. The drums, they're thick and full. And the medley, it kind of dips in the Polythene Pam, Mean Mr. Mustard parts, but that's a nitpick. That's like the nittiest pick you've ever picked, all right? And oh my gosh, the final 3 songs, Golden Slumbers, Carry That Weight, in the end, it's perfect. It's perfect, all right? This is not a perfect album, okay? Maxwell Silverhammer's mid, all right? And I'm not the first one to say that. It's not even a bad song. It's just not as good not as good as everything else. And just because it's not perfect doesn't mean it's not my favorite. This is like if someone asks me, say, hey, I only listen to singles, or I may have a playlist. What's a concrete album I should listen to? This is the answer. 100 times out of 100. Maybe say Dark Side of the Moon. That's 1 out of 100. You start with this, okay? You start with this, okay? Okay, this has been stupid ass rambling. Hope you enjoyed. If you're somehow watching this, penis.